we're going to crack straight on with it today because we have a lovely lady for you to meet. Her name is Karen. Before I tell you what she does, let me give you this as a scenario. A young boy comes home from school one day to find out that his mother has taken her own life. How do you cope with that? You're young, you're vulnerable, and suddenly your mum is no longer with you in the most tragic of circumstances. Where do you turn if you're that young boy? Well, you turn to people like Karen. That's where you turn. Karen is a volunteer for the Stourport-on-Severn charity Mentor Link. They work with vulnerable and distressed children, one-on-one, to try and turn them around, to get them back on their feet. The story I gave you is not just a scenario. It's totally true. And Karen has been helping that boy now for many years. And she's been recognised for her work with a national award. Well, I've been speaking to Karen, and I asked her to tell me first what exactly she does with the Stourport-on-Severn charity Mentor Link.
Well, what I do is I mentor young people. Mentor Link mentors children from primary school all the way up to sixth form, college and beyond. Children who've had anything from bullying to terrible things happening to them, witnessing violence, or it could be that they're just anxious about moving from primary school up into high school and they just need somebody to talk to, almost like a sounding board. So Mentor Link mentors young people.
And how did you get involved, Karen?
Right, I decided, it must be about 5 or 6 years ago, that I would like to be involved a bit more with young people. I used to work at a sixth form college, and when I left there, I really missed the young people. And Mentor Link was one of those charities that really appealed to me in the fact that the child was the most important thing, and that we were going to help children to carry on with education or carry them through difficult situations in their life. So I saw that Mentor Link were looking for volunteers, and I applied and was interviewed and was taken on, which was lovely.
And what does it mean to you to see young people and to listen and to talk to young people at possibly their lowest ebb and to gradually help bring them round, help to turn their lives around? What does that, Karen, mean to you?
Well, it's very rewarding. It's lovely to see a child, and they're not all just children, some of them are obviously young adults, teenagers, to see them begin to open up from being like a little closed, crumpled up little child really, or even a teenager, to all of a sudden realise that they can see a future, or they can see something different. I mean, the problems we have in schools at the moment, as we all know, it's all in the news with exclusions, and we need to keep the children in school, and if they stay there, these children could be our bright futures. And just by somebody like me turning up and then using me like a sounding board, I'm not their mums, dads, I'm not a teacher, I don't care if the tie's on upside down, back to front. I'm just there to hear what they've got to say about their view on what's happening to them. And that little thing, half an hour a week with some of these children, can be a turning point for them, and we're keeping them in school and getting educated. And it makes such a difference to that child. So that makes a difference to me. I've forgotten what your question was now, but there you go.
I think it was perfectly answered, actually. You've been helping a young boy recently who came home to find that his mother had taken her own life. That must have been, incredible for the boy and for you as well.
Well, yeah, he was young. I mean, he was very young. But yes, it was horrendous. I mean, we were invited in by the school to talk to this young person, and he was very young at the time. He was primary school age, and he was one of these tight little balls. He was very, Well, obviously he would be, wouldn't he? He was completely closed. He was a closed book, to be perfectly honest. And it took a long time for me to even talk about his mum. In fact, it was years, because I've been seeing him for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And it took years before we just were able just to talk about Mum on a normal day-to-day basis. She was a no-go area. But, yeah, we chat about her quite freely now. And, yeah, we've come a long way. We have come a long way with him. He was, suspended, excluded. We've had such issues. But you would, wouldn't you? I mean, gosh, a young person of that age. And he's great now, yeah. He's looking forward. He's gone from being this closed little book that didn't even look at me to going into his GCSEs. He's talking about his A-levels. He's going to sixth form college, and his ultimate goal is to get A-levels, to go to university, and to go on to be. I see him being a brilliant techie person. This person, who we could have excluded if Mentalink hadn't have got involved, he could be somebody at GCHQ who saves us from something or discovers some huge thing that, will be brilliant for the country. And this person could have been written off, which is the big thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, he's a model student. He's head boy now at his high school, and he's being highlighted as a potential Oxbridge student. It's a remarkable turnaround for him, isn't it, really?
Yes, it is. And the funny thing with that is as well that he was quite an isolated boy in himself. His colleagues, school friends. Well, he didn't have school friends. He was so angry about everything that the school children used to find him a bit sort of difficult to deal with, because he used to kick off, to be perfectly honest.
Yes.
But they actually voted for him. At high school now, he was voted for by his year group to make him head of that year, which is just fantastic. It is fantastic. Yeah, I'm so proud of him. I really am so proud of him, of where he's come from and where he's got to. You can see such a turnaround. It's amazing, really.
You're proud of him, but you should also be proud of yourself, because you've been recognised for your work, and you've been, awarded as well. How about that?
I know. Well, that's quite amazing as well. That was a bit of a shock, and I'm still completely nonplussed by it. Mentalink asked me if they could nominate me, and I just went, yeah, feel free. I didn't think anything of getting anywhere with it, and then I didn't even think I'd be shortlisted, and then I was shortlisted, and then I was made a finalist, and we all went down to London to this big, it was like it was a 5-star hotel with this celebrity thing. It was just amazing, and then I won, which was even more amazing.
Well, I think that's well deserved, I think you're doing a fantastic job, and long may you continue, and I'm sure you will, won't you, Karen?
I think I will. It's the children that are the people that keep you doing it, because you don't want to let them down. And as I say, we're a small charity. We're always looking for volunteers, or even if there's people out there who think we could help their children, get in touch with Mentalink and let's see what we can do to help you. It's a wonderful, wonderful charity doing wonderful things.
And she is a wonderful, wonderful lady, an inspiration. So there you go. That young boy who raced in from school to his mum, only to find that his mum had taken her own life. That young boy who was, in Karen's world, a crumpled-up ball, who isolated himself, kicked off at the drop of a hat, and was very nearly expelled from all of his schools. He's now head boy. And he's on his way to Oxbridge, potentially. And it's because he had half an hour a week, for many weeks, in fact for years, with Karen Green, who's a volunteer for the Stourport-on-Severn charity Mentor Link. Now, what she didn't say, and what I'm going to say for her, is that I know that Mentor Link are struggling desperately for cash. They've got no money. They've had their last lottery grant pulled, and so their good work might cease. if they don't find some support very soon. Having listened to Karen and the work that she's done, I wonder if we could possibly help them. Go and have a look at them. Mentor Link, based in Stourport. Look at the work they do, and you'll see they are an inspirational group of people. That was Karen's story.